Today, we're going to dive into something called the 3 good reasons. It's all about understanding the real why behind our choices. Let's peel back the layers and really find out what's truly driving us.
You know that feeling, right? When you make a choice, could be a huge life decision, could be something tiny, and later you kind of look back and think, why on earth did I really do that? It almost feels like someone else was steering the ship for a second.
I mean, this happens with the simplest things. We create this nice, clean story for ourselves. Oh, I picked that restaurant because I was craving pasta. But was that it? Really? Beneath the surface, our brain might have been guided by this hidden desire for comfort, or maybe even a little bit of social one-upmanship with a friend. The reason we give is almost always just the tip of the iceberg.
And this leads us to a fascinating and, let's be honest, a slightly unsettling idea: the illusion of choice. We really believe we're making these rational, logical decisions, but so often, our conscious mind is just acting like a PR department, spinning a good story for a decision that was already made deep down in our subconscious. So, to get past that illusion, we've got to unpack the layers. Our motivations aren't simple, they're this complex stack of different reasons. And understanding the stack, well, that's the absolute key to understanding ourselves. All right, so the first layer, the one on top, is the most straightforward. It's called the articulated reason. This is our public-facing explanation.
It's that neat, tidy story that makes perfect sense on the surface. It's the I wanted pasta of all our life choices. It's designed for social situations, to justify what we did without getting into a long, complicated backstory.
Okay, now let's go a layer deeper. Here we find the rationalized reason. Now this one's different. This reason isn't for other people, this one is for us.
This is the internal narrative that our mind creates to make a choice feel logical and right. It's the story that smooths over the more uncomfortable motives, like ego or fear, so we can look at ourselves in the mirror and feel like a rational person who's in total control. But beneath both of those layers, that's where the real power is. That's the unseen architect of our lives. This is the hidden engine that can override even our most carefully considered plans.
And that hidden engine? Well, that is the true subconscious driver. This is where the real action is happening.
This is the deepest, most primal layer of motivation we have. These are all the ingrained patterns and past experiences that are actually steering the ship. This driver is almost never spoken out loud, but its influence is absolutely immense.
Okay, so how does this whole 3-layered system actually work in the real world? Let's take a powerful and pretty common example to make this super concrete.
Okay, check this out. It illustrates the whole framework perfectly. The articulated reason, the one they tell their friends, is, I'm just attracted to independent people. Sounds good, right? The rationalized reason, the story they tell themselves, is, it's a mature choice. Codependency is unhealthy, makes them feel smart and in control. But the true driver reveals the real story, a deep-seated fear of intimacy, probably from a past abandonment. That's what's compelling them to seek out partners who will never get close enough to hurt them again. You see? The top 2 reasons are just a really good cover for the third.
That example just shows how incredibly easy it is to live completely unaware of our true drivers. And when we do that, we can get trapped in patterns that just don't serve us anymore.
So you might be asking, what's the real cost here? What really happens when we live our lives guided by these invisible forces?
The danger is we get stuck. We find ourselves in these endless cycles of self-sabotage, repeating the exact same painful mistakes in relationships or careers. We feel this nagging sense of emptiness, wondering why our rational choices just aren't making us happy. And ultimately, we feel like we're just passengers in our own lives, not the pilots.
So, the crucial point is this: there's a huge disconnect. Our conscious mind sets a goal, like I want to find a loving partner. But our unconscious driver, operating on old fears and patterns, is actively working against it. We become tethered to the past without even knowing it.
But, and this is the good news, it doesn't have to be this way. We can actually move from being driven by these hidden forces to becoming the conscious architect of our own lives.
The million-dollar question, of course, is how? How do you access this powerful, hidden part of yourself?
Look, there's no quick fix, there's no magic button, but the path forward is clear. It all begins with introspection. Simply becoming aware of our inner world is the first, and honestly the most powerful step toward taking back control. Here's a practical way to start. First, just look for recurring, unsatisfying patterns in your life. What keeps happening that you don't want? Second, when those patterns pop up, question your go-to justifications.
Get really curious about why your mind defaults to that particular story. And third, use tools like journaling to explore these questions without judging yourself. The goal here isn't to blame yourself, it's just to understand.
And this is the ultimate payoff. When we bring these hidden drivers into the light, we reclaim our agency. We're not puppets of our past anymore. We gain the freedom to consciously choose our actions and to align them with what we truly want for our future.
So yeah, the unseen architect inside of us is incredibly powerful. But this work reminds us of a really important question. Who's holding the blueprints? And the answer is, you are. You can choose to redesign your life at any moment. The only question is, will you?